Terry Melchert, welcome to Newsport.
Thank you for having us.
Firstly, Terry, you're no stranger to the Shire. You're obviously in terms of Douglas Shire Council.
Sure.
Why should local voters vote for you on March 16th?
I believe the reason they should vote for me is I believe we're struggling at the moment. The water supply has failed. Nothing happens very quickly, if at all. Splash Park, you're carrying a headline about the Splash Park not happening. So I didn't really intend to stand. I was encouraged to stand by a number of residents, and I raised the water issue 4 years ago when I stood last time. Like, it's not a new issue, and it's just been let fall over the edge. So I think it's just that lack of activity, and I live here. I suffer and enjoy all the things we have here.
Can you just nail down for us specifically one or two key priorities and policies that's on your radar that you intend to advocate and push forward as if you get voted in as councillor?
Well, importantly, I would be thinking of openness and transparency. So councillors currently have a before council meeting where basically all the decisions are made. And then we come to a council meeting and they're rubber stamped. And I'd like to see those meetings open to the public. I'd like to see the water supply and sewerage 100% up to scratch. I'd like to see, and I could see no reason why the Splash Park can't happen in the next financial year. I'd like to see more involvement in the community in the decision making, like proper surveys of consultation. So, surveying the whole ratepayer and community base. We want to do this. It's been done before with water supply. You've got everyone's address who owns a property, and you give community opportunity. So you get a holistic and very reliable, big population result. So, thinking about things like swimming pools, what will it cost? What are the other things you'd like to see us to do? And of course, the ferry has been turned around from a revenue neutral or slight profit entity. Now the ratepayers are subsidising it. So every ratepayer is paying to run the ferry, which has never happened before, as far as I'm aware, in the history of the Douglas Shire.
Very quickly, you take on Noah Range at the moment, and the 80 days it's taking. Here we are, 2 or 3 months later, and the residents of the Daintree are still suffering over there. Just your views on solutions or how it's all been handled by council in the state so far.
I suppose it comes back to some of my answers. What I see is no sense of urgency from the organisation of the council. It's a really difficult task, so is the water, but that's when you've got to throw everything at it, not say, oh, well, we're held up by this. There's always an excuse why we didn't try something. So for me, I'm not saying it isn't a difficult task, but it's an opportunity for council to really shine and say, well, okay, can we get things done more quickly, or what do we provide as services in terms of getting people who live there in and out in some sort of routine? Kids going to school, I'm told, can't go to school tomorrow because there's no transport. So, it's easy to throw a ferry on for a couple of days or a week or 2 weeks, however long it takes.
CEOs, how would you as a councillor keep the current or future CEO of the Shire accountable in terms of being from a councillor's point of view? If in your role as a future councillor, how would you keep the CEO accountable?
I think it's for the whole council and the mayor to create an environment that isn't them and us. So in my history in Douglas, I had the best councillors in the world as CEO. And I was just saying to Pia, who I worked with her dad, things got done because we all sat in the room, figured out the solution and went and did it. And we didn't say, oh, this will hold us up or that'll hold us up. So I've seen both sides of it. And I've worked as a CEO with a team that's working together. They didn't even have the same views on many things, but on the important things like the range being blocked, 110% support. And that's where we've got to get to. Not rather, well, we keep the CEO on track or whatever. It's a matter of developing a team approach, and that's why the mayoral position is going to be so important. Pull it all together.
And lastly, what do you consider to be your biggest strength that you can take into a councillor role?
I think the biggest strength I have, and I've made a lot of comments, and I'm not trying to say I know everything about everything, but I do know if I'm being fed bullshit. I know enough about most things because I'm old and I've got the experience. So if someone tells me something about the water plant, which I was part of the design team, I would know if someone said this and it's not right. Some of the things I hear aren't right. Roy quite rightly raised about using a former employee to deviate water. And he was told at a meeting, you can't do that. But the person who told him how to do it He worked for me and he's done it before.
Sure.
So how can I say you can't do it when I know he's done it?
Sure. Understood.
So they're the sort of examples. If you had the experience, you can see who to go to help you.
Yeah.
So I've got a big black book of people to help, and you know the run. You don't have to know everything, and no one can. I don't.
Terry, thanks for your time.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Cheers. Thank
See
you.
ya.